Hello, hello, and welcome back to another live stream. How's it going, everyone? It's Friday. It feels like it's been forever. I know it comes around once a week, but I don't know why. Feels it's been a while since I said that. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope all is good. Today, I got good news about environment I'm working on, so it's a good day. Other than that, we're gonna continue with a save file or save system, not save file, but make save files. I did find out the problem that I was having about the saving of the character location. Turns out there was one other setting that I probably at some point turned on and forgot or didn't notice, but there were basically two positions where you could save the player's location. Or maybe one turned the other one on? I don't know. I doubt it, but either way, I found out where I need to disable it, so now properly, when I load, it loads wherever the spawn point is. I can of course override it later, but that's for later. I also found out where the save game loading screen thing is, so I can basically have a way for the dungeon to generate as well, which will set up. That's gonna be the goal. So, shall we get into it? So, if we come here, if I go ahead and save, and then, load, ta-da! I'm back at the start. Also, the number, right? Save a 5, save, load. Why is it again reset? I tested this just earlier. Da, 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 da. Why does it feel like it sometimes doesn't, sometimes doesn't? It just... What? I tested it. I tested it earlier. It was working fine. This. On the function most likely doesn't need to be used. Is used on begin play by the system to tell game instances that it should check if there's anything to load. So is it the force operation? Is that the problem? 5, save, load. I swear, I tested it. It was working fine. It was, there was no problems. So I even had this here, where I had a 2 here and a 1 here, just to check. And then 1, but no 2. 1, but no 2. Why is there a 1 but no 2? Hmm? Hmm? That's the question. Let me just do this here. Again, 1. Save. Why did it not... Why is this not even triggering? Hmm? Oh, hold on. What is it doing here? Loading is not forcing, but saving is. Which is what it should be doing. Why are we back here? Why? There's only one save file. Still 1, no 2. There's a 2 now. There's a 2 only when I use previous data. But it says I don't need to, and I checked it wasn't needing to. Okay, let's do 6, save. Increase to whatever load. 7, okay. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And then if I load here, 7, 8, 9, 10, but hold on a second. When I was in here, yeah, this is broken again. Why are we back to 1, 2, 3? I can only take a deep breath and sigh. I can only take a deep breath and sigh. This should load. But it doesn't unload. It does 1. So what's the problem here? If I tell it to force, it doesn't do that. So it's not doing anything. Use previous data. 2. Yeah, so now it wants previous data to be off. Do you see why I'm confused? Here. We're 10. We save. There's a 2 there. We increase it. Reload. There's a 2 there. We increase. We go in. That works. Reload. We're fine. Hey, Zebra, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. We delete the save. Save at 5. And now it no longer does that. Hey, how's it going, Zebra? Hope you're doing well. So I think this needs to be on if the save exists. Hey Leo, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Is save system still being broken? Apparently so. Apparently so. If I launch it now, it's one again not printing 2. Unless I turn this on. No, it's still not printing 2. Now it is. Now it prints 2. But if I delete the save, and now I do this again, now it's printing 2. Now it's printing 2. Go in here. It didn't print 2. And then I load, it printed 2. Why didn't it load in here? You're probably, possibly, maybe might be looking into maybe possibly going to a tertiary education for bachelors. What is a tertiary education for bachelors? What does that mean? I know what just bachelor's is, or going to school for bachelor's. What is a tertiary? In a survey, you would be nearly needed, or if it would really benefit you for game. I feel like a big delay to just be back where I am right now to get a degree. If you ever plan to leave your country and go somewhere else, you will need a degree. Usually. Let me rephrase that. You don't need a degree, but it will make things a lot easier if you have a degree. Tertiary education is at university level. Ah, okay. local, most likely no money for anything. No, I'm not saying to go to college abroad. I'm saying that if you want to move abroad to work later, then it will be easier if you have a degree. Like, me coming to Canada was substantially easier because I had a degree. Without a degree, it would be considerably more difficult. That's what I'm saying. So, something to consider, because I know you might be thinking about going somewhere else later on, based on where you are. So, I'm not saying that's required, again, but it does make things easier. But that's also easier depending, maybe based on where you go. I would still do more research on that, but I don't understand. I genuinely don't understand. Why does it not sure too? Okay, hold on. Save. Okay, we're at 6. Reload. We're fine. We're at 6. We come here. We're not loaded. Why are we loaded? Is it loading like per level? Like, I genuinely don't understand. Set as new save file. Set new active loading screen. This does nothing if the target does not implement the required interface. Yeah. Okay, what if I, just for shits and giggles, just didn't do this ever. I just did this. What if we did this? Back in 2016, you applied, got accepted to the university local, but declined it because it wasn't internationally recognized back then. Check Reddit to post about people asking this particular university is even internationally recognized, accredited. So it's giving you major data. Oh yeah, well, you need to make sure that it's accredited. Absolutely. Even inside of America, there are uncredited like credited and not credited colleges. You want to always go with the credited ones. If it's not, then it's pointless. Of course. I'm saying they aren't. Others saying they aren't, even locally. Yeah, that you gotta do research on. No, there's no way I can help. Hey, Sermon, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Prince won. I do not understand. Just like it hasn't changed. I mean, what about a different one that's maybe accredited, but it is like has an online option? You always look into that. Again, you're not required for game dev to go to college. In fact, you can learn everything you need. The only reason I say for you, maybe college is if you want to go abroad at some point. It might be easier. But yeah, it needs to be accredited. Ba, 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 ba. Am I missing something? I don't understand. Just quick saves. No. Set up game instance for save game operations. You define any save operation information. Can I search this in the Discord? Call the functions. You should not call them directly on the object. You should call their equivalent on the game instance. Start save game operation to load/save data. Usually doesn't need to be called to load. That's not it. Load the gameplay level. You can do so directly with the function setup game, blah, blah, giving an empty slot name since we don't need to load anything in the gameplay level and the level name. Okay, hold on. Let's do. Stop it. Stop it. This used to be none. Nope. How's it look? Less so about doing college to do game dev. It's like you literally taught yourself Unreal, but it's more so maybe get through the job and code. At the same time, your passion is game dev, so why you're wasting your time doing a degree? I mean, it sounds like you're going in multiple different directions. Like, first and foremost, right? You have to pick what you want to do. Don't do one because it might be the right thing. Do what you want to do. You can always, if you need a degree to go abroad or something later on, you can always get one later. In fact, it'll be just easier to go through college at that point because you already know everything. You'll just blast through it. Or you might not need it. Right? So but yeah, if you go to college, you gotta go accredited one for sure. Seeing some pics on Discord General is what I built considered a real-time strategy because it's open world, but battles are grid one. Well, do you take turns? If you don't take turns and you don't pause, if the game is constantly running and you just tell things to do things, then it's real time. If you pause, then it's not real time. Takes turns, then it's a turn based. It's not real time. You don't need a degree to do game dev, but it's like family, parents push you to further education. I mean, let's put it this way. If they're going to pay for it, you're not going to get another chance. If they're not going to pay for it, then that's a different story. Right? You also have to consider that.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
So this doesn't matter. On the function, most likely does need to be used. This boolean is used to be, at begin play by the system to tell the game instance that it should look if there are anything to load. But like, What is Civ 7? You thought it was an RTS? You take turns? Civ 7 is not an RTS. That is a turn-based strategy game. Absolutely. YouTubers calling it who's calling it an RTS? Yeah, StarCraft 2 is an RTS. I don't know anyone that's ever called Civ a real-time strategy game. There's no real-time part. Your turns can take an hour. That's not a real-time thing. If there's a turn, it is not real-time. That is called turn-based. Expected that the data won't load in the new level. The code is highlighted in red. It's intended to load that data. Basically, the process here's would be to save, then use the setup game instance for save game. Command and Conquer. I've heard about Command and Conquer, but I've never played it myself. But this is loading or saving variables. Can I break? Operation type, switch. Can I do a print string here? I guess just, I just print operation type. Let's see if this even prints anything. No. It doesn't. It does not print anything. So this doesn't. Save game operation started doesn't print anything. Why? I clearly am saving. And clearly am loading. There is no parent function on these things. What if I did this? I need to get the JSON file. Get air controller. Get HUD. Get user settings. What if I did this? What's my game classified as? Top-down combat adventure 2.5D. It's a ARPG deck building roguelike. A 2.5D ARPG deck building roguelike. Why did it not trigger this? This. Why am I back to? It didn't load. It's not saving anything. Because I changed it to this, huh? That's why. I have a feeling I'm going to need to just talk with the creator of this save system, because my god, I don't understand. I'm genuinely so confused why it is the way it is. That just triggered multiple times. Why did it trigger multiple times? Oh, hold on. I also have... Don't I also have... No, I removed the one from here. Load from here. Okay. So why did that trigger twice now? Save. It's triggering twice. But I didn't save. I'm saving at 9. I'm loading. Nothing is saved. Today's stream will be watch a man bash his head against a wall trying to understand how a variable works or how a function works. So let's do copy. Delete the save file. There's going to be loading. The time before that, yeah. So it doesn't print 2 here anymore. If I do force operation, well, it doesn't do print 2 because it didn't find anything to load. Is that the problem? Hold on. There was nothing to load. Okay, fine. I save, but it didn't print 2 here either. I load, it didn't print 2. Yeah. Delete again. Force operation. Save. Load. Did not print 2. So force operation does not help. Use previous data. Hey, you guys, welcome in. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Save. Now save printed 2. Load printed 2. On cooking today, myself. I'm just if I start, I don't get a 2. If I load, I get a 2. If I save, I get a 2. If I load, I get a 2. But if I increase my variable and then save at 5 and load, it's saved. But then if I go in here, it's no longer saved. It didn't load it. Why didn't it load it in this level? It's the same game mode. Just re-add this. Turn that off again. Any level blueprint? No, nothing of this sort. You cooked yourself at work today? Bunch of stuff and you want to do some Python script for Blender to improve workflow. Cooked yourself at work today. Like you got in trouble? I'm not sure what you mean by cook yourself. Because usually when someone's like, that guy's cooked, that's a bad thing. You almost regret telling me to do programming? What do you mean? What happened? Oh, let's go to my game instance. I wonder if I can... Go to the main game instance. Initialization. No. Go back. Get save game operation manager reference. Parent in it. Okay. Oh, then there's the parent thing, which is of the game instance. Oh, God. No, go away. I don't want you. Ever. You kept thinking too hard? That shit is not easy? Oh, programming? Yeah. Hard is not easy. Start save game operation. Get save game operation menu reference branch. Check if it has previous data. How do I... What I want to do, I guess, is load on initialize. What if I did from here? I did easy game start save game operation. Why are there two? Make load test loading screen. Does this trigger? Does this trigger? Yes. So none of this prints me a 2. You trapped a bug in a small box, and it's mad at you now. I mean, yeah. I'd be mad at you if you trapped me in a small box. Yeah. Would you expect it to be happy? That seems like a proper response. You'll take it outside in a while? You don't want to get revenge? Oh, yeah. It's definitely not going to remember more and more of your face the longer it stares at you. Aren't we all bugs trapped in boxes in the grand scheme of the universe, though? You're mad too. So, yep, that's not a thing. Okay. Wait. Should have at least found itself. So I just need to search this way. Okay, let's see what we have. Has variables to save. True. Calls this. Calls this. Important saves trigger. Save or load variable. Activated activation. This is... So the only place it calls is here. Save or load variable, save actor, load actor. Load JSON from string. Load variables. All right, that doesn't trigger even. Like, none of this even triggered. This entire thing. BP easy game component. This didn't trigger. Does this trigger? It triggers on save and triggers on load, but it doesn't trigger on start. I'm gonna try something that's gonna be stupid, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put this easy save game component on the player. You have a prisoner? Let the prisoner go. You met outside, it was running up to you, you kept kicking it away, it somehow found me. So it was already after you. It was already annoyed at you. And you wanted to capture it and make it more annoyed at you, basically. Right? Am I understanding properly? Add easy save game component. Find similar. Don't respawn only there. Unloading and saving variables. Get game load reference. Test event. Let me delete the save. Okay. Even that doesn't trigger anything. How does this not trigger? Why is this not trigger? What am I missing? You want to trigger a save or load at any time with code, you can do so with the following setup. Call the find available index. Yes, we have this. It's needed to ensure that you won't erase any previous save files. You can do so by at your own risks. You'll need to give it a save type, save unique name. You want, and how many slots are allowed for the save type. What if we I don't know. Try that. Nope. Nope, that didn't help. That didn't help. I mean, you save file, but that didn't help. So the box just made you think of something, though. If a bird is in a box and a fly is in the box, does the box lift up? Depends. How strong is the box is how strong is the bird. Is the bird flying up and pushing the box? I mean, there's air in the box, Leo. It's not like air. There's no air in the box. There has plenty of air to push.
Ads are here. Pausing for ads.
You're assuming the box is mostly sealed, but it still has air inside. I mean, if you close all your windows and doors and seal everything perfectly shut, you'll still have air inside. Good thing. Wouldn't have enough space. I mean, you don't know how big the bird is and how big the box is. If it has enough room to flap its wings, then obviously it'll be able to fly. And if it's big and strong enough, it can push the box. Depends on the bird, depends on the box. Pterodactyl in a giant cardboard box? Yeah, pterodactyl will get out through that very easily. I mean, it doesn't mean you do anything. The cardboard box will probably just get blown away by the wind. With a strong enough gust of wind. I wish the person who made this was in the United States. Because I think he's probably in Europe or something. Because usually he's on like at 3 a.m. my time. I mean, like I said, the answer is just depends on the bird in the box. Weak box, bird gets out. Strong box, bird doesn't fly. Or bird can't push the thing. We already assumed that he can fly because that was the question. Get thumbnails for saves. Enable save file versioning. We've tried everything. I feel like we've tried everything. Well, everything checks out. No, there is no wondering if the bird flies, Leo. The question was, if a bird is in a box and it flies in the box, does the box lift up? The question specifically stated that the bird is flying in the box. That's it. There's no guessing if the box is big enough or there's enough room. Stipulation was it is flying in the box. So, based on that, is the bird strong enough to lift the box with its weight and with its powerful wings or not? Because now you're adding more variables that weren't there originally. No, it doesn't fly. Well, it does fly. That was the part of the question. If the bird flies, can it lift the box? There's no question of whether a bird flies. Birds always fly. Just is it lifting the box? No. No matter what I do, I cannot get it to. Most birds' bones are light? I mean, I don't know where you... I mean, yeah, sure, they're light. Have you ever seen an eagle? They have a good carrying capacity. A hawk? A hawk will carry a small animal by itself. But it's a bird. Like I said, depends on the size of the bird and the the box, right? I keep saying that. Set up game instance for save game operation. Well, that's... Sure, what if we tried this one? We haven't tried this one. Why is it cycling a loop of loading now? So this loads the level. So we don't want to do this one. Okay. And it's the one we've been using. If the bird's weight plus lifting capacity is lower than its box's weight, it makes it nigh impossible to do. Well, yeah, like I said, depends on the bird and depends on the box. Yeah, listening. Listening. You've not showed the homework for that answer, okay? Why would I need to show my homework? I just need to give you the answer. These checkboxes do nothing. Basically. None of them do anything. In terms of like actually getting me to load the variables. And for the life of me, I don't understand. Is there something I'm missing from just the setting things up? Is there something I've missed? Included saving system allows the you can either do the following implementation process for any actor blueprint or directly in the world on any actor. Directly in the world on any actor. The second option won't allow to save variables. Okay, we're not doing the second version, so we've added the easy save game component. Take a look at the details panel while selecting the components. We don't care about destruction. We don't care about the transform. We have save variables, has variables save checked. Save type. It's important to set this property or actors might not be saved as they should. Any actors that is manually placed in the world, persistent actor, no. Any actor that is spawned once at runtime by code, but not in a repeatable manner. This actor will be respawned automatically at runtime with all its data it has any. A wall placed with a player with a house building system. So it's not this. Defines any actor that is always spawned at runtime by code, which is it is. Game mode is always spawned at runtime by code. Player character is an example of that. It will be automatically spawned on the map by the engine when starting the game, but it is not necessarily placed on the map by hand. This also applies to any actor that would always be spawned by code at runtime. This way of saving actors will only be reliable if you always have the same amount of actors spawned at runtime by this method. Yep. For actors of the save type, you need to make sure that their type is correct set at runtime. If you set it inside the config here, you don't have to worry. But if you want to set this dynamically by code, you can just do it in the concessor script. That's fine. For actors of type respawn actor on load, or find some actor on load, check this box to ensure that the data are saved and loaded only in the persistent level they are spawned in. If set to false, the actor will be able to respawn or searched in any levels, which is what we want. We want it to be off. Save transform only in the same level we don't care about. These options allow you to enable various events related to the save game operations. When setting enable save game operations starting dispatcher or enable save game operations ended dispatcher to true, the associated events can now be listened to from actor owner in the save game component. Save game operations started dispatcher. What is this? Maybe I should turn them on. Is this why this one wasn't working before? Well, it doesn't print anything. It does print there. But it doesn't print there. So it prints it on save specifically. But I don't care about the save game operation started. I want to know. I want the load. The load. Think. We've even tried. We even tried this already. Or we did this, and then get player. controller. Get HUD. But how do it know? It won't know which ones to get unless there's only one. Prince 2, though. Yeah, we're at 5. We load. Yeah, Prince 2. But the variable didn't save. But the variable didn't save. So what have we not tried? What have we not tried? Yeah, Insanity plus plus for sure. This is definitely a keep trying the same things over and over and expecting a different result scenario. I mean, I'm not trying to try the same things over and over. I'm trying to find different things to try, but I'm very much running out of things to try. Very much. And add a dash to your game. Makes sense, and you can see a lot of potential abilities from it. For your shopkeeper game? Why is your shopkeeper dashing? What game are you making now? Not that. Oh, did you move on to a different game now? Is the variable still saved? Yeah, the test variable is still being saved. I'm definitely going insane. The thing that boggles my mind the most is it's not consistent. I don't understand the logic of it. There's something that's, I think, just not working. It's my only conclusion to this. Only works for persistent types and not already registered or destroyed. I mean, screw it. I'm gonna try it again. Request load variables. I mean, at this point, what am I losing? Clearly a lot. Is the save not happening? Oh, this also needs to happen only if it's loading. I don't actually want to do this every time it saves. Only on loads. If we come here, unsaved, print string, this value. Save. It saved a 4. I saw the 4, but it loads a 0. What happens if I open the file with a notepad? I cannot read it because it's... Yep. It's a jumbled mess. So it's saving it supposedly. It's just not loading. Supposedly. Why am I getting 2 prints now? That's the other thing. What about it is making it to print the number 2 now? Or... Oh, it's because I have the save already there. If I do this and come back here, then it won't do... That prints 2 there. What if I do respawn only in the same level, just for shits and giggles? Now, the shits and giggles, yeah, there's not enough shit. Sorry, there's too much shit and not enough giggles. The ratio was off, did not work out. Oh, you know what would help if I did that? Hold on. Oh, is that why I was printing 2? No, it still prints 2. Load. Okay, so it's loading correctly again. When we go in here. All right, it has the number saved here, but when we go in here, it reset. Also, it was supposed to do this when I did load. It didn't, for some reason. That. Yeah, good old shiggles. We tried putting it on the player even. We've even tried putting it on the player, and that didn't help. Wondering, is the save local to the level? Or something about it being unique to a level or something along those lines? Is it just for finding a suitable level? Well, that's the thing. Like in this option, it has respawn or find only in save level, and I have it turned off. So it should. The game mode is obviously every single level, so it should load it for every single level. The main problem is this event does not trigger properly. Or maybe, or at least now it does trigger, which confuses me. I don't know why it's triggering now sometimes, but it doesn't other times. Right, the save now like actually prints 2, but it didn't used to. But why does it save now with a number 2, but it didn't before? I don't know. Oh, because we're using previous data. But I think the use previous data is what's, yeah. Now it no longer prints 2. But the way it was said inside the documentation itself was that shouldn't be needed. Because that should be only loading on the very beginning. Yeah, use previous data. On the function, most likely does not need to be used. This boolean is used at begin play by the system to tell the game instance that it should check if there's anything to load. So I shouldn't be using it, basically. Although, with it on and off, it always has issues in either direction, so. An event possessed, is it loading it correctly as well? We could try moving it to event possessed. Get game mode reference test event. Nope. Doesn't matter where it's done from. It refuses. Video playing is no bueno, especially if it's something like retaining information between the levels. The hard way of testing for a game jam, especially I think player death. Yeah, most of my stuff is on the players done on Possess. And event Possess is when I do the initialization, games and stuff, any loads or anything. I don't do it on begin play because I need to make sure they spawned and possessed because it should auto possess. And then once it's done being possessed, then I know that he's kind of loaded in. I don't think there's any other save game sections here, is there? No. Nope. I think my pretty much my only option is to just pause and just basically come asking for the maker of the system, because I am rightfully lost. Send an email? No, he has a whole Discord with like a support channel and all that. I don't need to send an email. In the meantime, we could look at bug fixes or some UI stuff. I can show one thing that I was doing since yesterday, which was this. This is the same map from yesterday, but you might notice it's a bit bigger. So I've gone ahead and just literally scaled and slightly adjusted the entire thing to be 2x in size. Checking that I can't fall in. Yep. So there's a lot more room here, as you can see, which makes it so the mobs can actually follow me along a lot better. So I can actually go here, and they can go down here or every which way. The too wide are still better than anything else, but you know, we got some setups here. This is a different kind of path than it was before to make it where the portal is. Stop body mucking me. Okay. You're saying it's impossible to load, unload, and control it. What do you mean load and unload and control it? Control what? What is the it? I'm almost tempted to bring the camera closer now with this. I'll be honest. Oh, blueprint level instancing. Impossible to load and unload. No, we figured out how to load and unload yesterday. The controlling part, yeah. There are some things that I need to figure out, like if you change something in the level instance, how do you unload it and reload it with it maintaining all the changes, basically? Because that's kind of important. If you open a door that's inside the level instance, or inside the level, or how, you know, it doesn't have to be specifically a level instance, but that's kind of, it is using like its own custom thing for Dungeon Architect. How do you then make it so it maintains the position of those things on reload? That's kind of the next big thing. Yeah. Because if I have a room that is in a level instance, and then I go and open a door in it, and then it unloads and reloads the door back to being closed, so it shouldn't be. I opened it. All right. But if you just unload and reload with doing nothing, it will be closed. So. Yeah, that's the thing. If I, for example, go here, and let's just run around real quick. Right, all of these mobs that are spawning, oh god, there's so many. Yeah, run away. Good, good, good. Run away. Make room for me. Thank you. All of these mobs that are spawning. Oh, yeah, I found the dead end. If I eject now, right, there's a bunch of them. But yeah, the mob spawners. Let's see. Just grab these guys. Yeah, these guys I think are just in the main level. They're not part of the level instance, which I think is what would happen for the mobs. But the main things is, like, what if you push something? What if you adjust something? If the same level and sub-level instances, you can have the location of those things, then do checks on it. So we can't keep a reference of the door since it gets unloaded. Yeah, but then you would need to... But again, how would you keep a reference to it? When it gets unloaded and gets reloaded, it gets reloaded with everything at default, like you would load the thing brand new. It's not like you can save a variable to the door and then unload and reload and the variable is saved. It's not. It has reloaded it from scratch. It's like loading a level again. So, and you can't do like a save level instance because that would update every other copy of it theoretically in the world. So it's beyond me how Dungeon Architect does it. I'll be honest. It is very much beyond me. So you mean like continuum across levels, or just for that level alone? If you come back to that floor, it saves all the debris you did. Yeah. Or doors you open. Yeah. I don't know how. If I go to... Hold on, let's see. View distance 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Yep. Can't do it from here. Okay, so if I manage to go past this thing, theoretically this first level will unload. Right? Let's do a test. We can do a test. Add a cube. Turn on simulate physics. Save. Okay, there's the cube. I'm gonna push the cube over here, okay? Cube is down there. If I eject, right, theoretically, if I get past this room, that first one will unload. So let's go and do that. Let's unload this room. Let's see what happens. Because maybe I'm wrong. That is a possibility, but I just want to check. Do full confirmation. Pause, eject. Okay, the first room is unloaded. The cube is not here, right? The cube isn't here. It's gone. So it's not like it's like staying in space. Okay? Yeah, let's run back. A Lee can fit here, which is great to know. Lee can fit on a one wide. It was this way. There's the cube. Down here, in position. So, that cube is part of the level instance. It got unloaded. But it's moved, right? It has saved this physics cube, its position, but it has unloaded that area and reloaded it. How? Couldn't tell you. But as you can see, this is my demonstration where it's just, the big thing is, it needs to automatically save and load changes that happened inside that area to the objects there. It can't be like a manual thing, because that's not feasible. Yeah, I knew it was going to work. I just wanted to demo it, just in case I was going crazy. It's been a stream, as you could tell. But you can see that there's the cube. No, does not have world partition at all. Yeah, and it's all level. It's, so you can see right here. Right, there's just a dungeon streaming thing, its own custom thing, but it's a levels. Right, here's the level. It's This is built on based on top of level instancing. You can see here it says level instance. And there, level instance. And I'm slightly in the way, but you can see level instance. So it is built on top of level instancing. But it saves locations. Yeah, this is the dungeon architect thing. But that's why I'm saying why I need this to be a thing in, like, if I was to ever create my own setup that is similar to this, that is like one of the big keys. The first one was figuring out how to even load and unload and the level instance. We got that figured out, which is great. But the next big thing is, how do you save changes inside of it and unload and reload it? Because you fairly have to save those changes somehow, whatever those objects are doing or not doing. And then and go from there. And also the next thing is, what if I push that cube into another area, into another room? Then how does it unload? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I haven't tried. But you see where I'm going with this. It is, even creating like a loading and unloading dungeon system is extremely difficult. Like, I don't know people, because that's another thing, right? People ask me for city builders, people ask me for dungeon generators. I want that. How do I do that? I have no idea. But without it, I'm not going to use whatever dungeon generator I would possibly create. And I don't feel like comfortable telling people to use X thing because I wouldn't. Saving class-based stuff and its state data into arrays during unload and delete the main object but keep the data? Yeah, but how do you know which ones to keep, which ones you do not keep? And it has to be automatic. And you can't, like, if you would have thousands of objects in your level, you can't constantly save and load and unload thousands of objects per room, where you sometimes will load dozens of rooms at the same time. You can't load and save tens of thousands of things at once, right? And I know that because I tried saving tens of thousands of PCG points that just have transforms. And even that brought my computer to a crawl. So that's not an option. It can't go through everything. It has to somehow know, but I don't... How would it know? I don't know. Dungeon Architect is C++. It might be one of those things that's only doable because C++, which I wouldn't be surprised. Or this is one of those things where, yeah, I understand why you would want C++. Do a debris test with a chaos physics object. It's the same result. It maintains everything inside. I don't know how it works if you bring that box to a different area. But I mean, for all we know, that it takes everything inside of that area and just unloads the level instance and loads everything else and sees if something matches, and then like removes it from one and puts it and spawns it with the other, right? There's like all sorts of like weird things you could do like that. Or maybe you just check everything inside the area. Hey, there's the level instance and there's these 5 things. Let's unload all of those things, store the 5 things, unload that, reload the level instance, and then somehow you would need to know what's inside the level instance. And if it's those 5 things, you instead remove it from the level instance and then just have those 5 things. But, right? It's... This is very hypothetical. That's not even a good suggestion. It's just idea. It's just very much a hypothetical. Automated solution and takes in class data from within each room instance that you haven't already put into it. I have no idea what that means, I'll be honest. Pure logic reason, you cannot have that cube exist without saving its data, loaded or unloaded. No idea. No idea. But that's the next big thing that there would need to be a way of doing and figuring out a way of like working around. I don't have a good solution. One that is like very efficient and performant, because obviously it needs to be. They're having a wildcard in Blueprint for classes and data, including states. Yeah, but again, right, you can't do that on tens of thousands of objects in the entire section. So, it needs to be scalable. Wonder if it doesn't work with PCG because it's not supported for that? Well, I'm not even talking about PCG. During that entire time, I'm just assuming full Blueprint setup. PCG would make that even more complicated. By a metric ton. I wouldn't do it with PCG. Okay, well, I don't know. You're starting a separate project solely learning Unreal C++ syntax? Because you're missing coding? What do you want to do? What do you enjoy? Like, that's a genuine question. Like, because you keep bouncing around, but I'm assuming you just not enjoying what you're doing. So what is it that you enjoy? Like, out of the game dev process, because you said you want to do game dev, but what is, you're clearly not enjoying the entire process of game dev. So what is it specifically that you enjoy doing? Because like, I enjoy all the process of game dev, right? Just game dev in general, just it's fun. Which is why I can just jump around. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. But I feel like you get bored because you're not enjoying it. This is one I haven't tried yet. Although, I don't see why this would matter. Nope, does not matter. Like game dev, it just sometimes you feel you want to make your magnum opus game that requires 300 people to do. Yeah, but you know that you can't do that, so you keep stopping. Right, you keep stopping making a game. You have to figure out why you're stopping making the game. You're not enjoying something. Because you can make that massive game by just, instead of, like, if you want to make a massive open world thing, first make the mechanic for the little tiny part of the beginning. Make the intro of it. Make even a smaller area of the intro of it. Make the tutorial only as a game.
Here. Pausing for ads.
Right? And you can keep building upon it, and eventually it will become this massive game. But I feel you're struggling at the beginning part, because maybe you just don't like blocking out and like that kind of stuff, which is fine. Maybe you don't like, you know, setting up, you know, mechanics or blocking or that kind of all that stuff. And it's not for everyone. Or that one thing you did, here's all the info for that, even though you're working on this other thing. I mean, maybe you just need to make a game design document and create a schedule and a plan. And then you have everything figured out, and then you just stick to it. Maybe for you, a game design document is exactly what you need. I mean, based on how you describing it, I wouldn't be surprised. You have 15. But why did you, after you wrote the first one, why didn't you execute on the first one? The problem with making a game design document and not executing it is you never know if your idea was actually any good, right? 3 or 4 of those have like multi-page stuff. Then make one that is 1 page. Make them the simplest thing ever and make it. Why are you creating games? How would you make a 300-person game design document in general? Because that would require, like, you can put books inside of a game design document that would be required for like 300 people. Because you would need to figure out all the characters, the environments, the abilities, the settings. Like, that would be like dozens, if not hundreds of pages for a game design document to figure all that out. So I think you're not filling out the game design document fully, which is probably what makes you be like, oh yeah, I didn't think about all those things. I'll only guess. I don't know. I can only guess. I can only guess why this is wrong too, but yep. Well, I think I'm gonna go and message the person and see if I can get some answers, because yeah, I really need this to work. Yep. You get bored when an idea feels too simple, but you fail to execute on the simple ones. The shopkeep one's not simple even. You fail to execute on the more complicated ones. Sorry, is what I meant. Right, the shopkeep one's not simple. The tower defense isn't, like, it's simple as a idea, but the execution of that is, it could be very not simple. So let's put it this way. Here's some motivation. If you want to join a game studio, having games that you can show that you have made will be infinitely better than any demo reel other piece that you can possibly put on it. There's some motivation to get some finished games. A small shitty game will be infinitely better than anything you can put on your demo reel if you're going to game dev. Do it. Make a game. Make a small game. Then build on top of it. Expand it. You can make DLCs until it's big and grand. You need to, that's discipline. I think that's just discipline. You need to be disciplined enough to continue and finish it. You can't be like, oh, I like the beginning. Maybe you like the beginning part of making a game, the, let's figure things out stage. And then once actually you need to start actually doing things, because it then becomes just a lot of, you have to just make the models. You just got to make the animations. You just got to, it's no longer fun figuring things out, Land. It's now, you just got to do the things. I think that's probably where you're falling by the sounds of it. I can only guess. I'm gonna go message the dev of this, and then I'm gonna go follow or go be sad and disappointed in myself for not figuring this out. If you're getting bored making it, people get bored playing it. No. Not necessarily. If you're bored playing it, people will be bored playing it. You can be bored making it because you just don't enjoy that part of the process. But that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. Okay, well, like I said, if you want to do more complex, do the tutorial. Make the tutorial of the game you want, but finish it. Make the tutorial that obviously you won't have all the abilities in, because you won't need it, because it's a tutorial. Make the tutorial. That's it. Yeah. Short stream. I'm sad. Bashing against the wall was not successful today. New video coming Sunday, as always. And we'll continue this Monday, hopefully with good news about the freaking save system. Oh, good night, guys. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.